The big word is, how do we make our cities work? Because even when we often ask questions, we are in our heads, we're thinking of someone else who's going to provide the answer. And as you have said, we may be smarter than we think we are. And we may have more passion than we think we have. And we may have more capability than we think we have. But we have to understand that we can become the change that we'd like to see. We will be forever working on this project. This is a long-term human journey, and we will always be working on something. But we will always have something to look back at and say, wow, we accomplished this.
I think students are experiencing that to some extent with service learning or experiential learning. Classes will tack it on as you should go and do service in the community, and you have really no context as to how to find good service, and you end up having maybe a not really great experience engaging with your community, and it leads you to disengage in the future. So I think it's really important that we think about, if we're going to ask students to engage, that we really do our part in terms of being, for me as a university, but it would also qualify for K through 12, really vetting the experiences that they're going to have so that they land somewhere, that they can have a quality experience, so that they leave thinking this was powerful.
These movements connected to each other, young people around housing, the Black Lives Matter movement, some immigration movements, have gotten together and stopped the taking over of buildings for entirely luxury housing. And because there's a big gap in the country between people who are getting increasing wealth and people who are getting less, unless there's some organizing here to say, no, this is actually our community and we don't want you to build those houses that not a single person in our community can live in. So they actually have stopped. The movement in Oakland has actually stopped the building of several luxury apartment buildings because they understood that people were going to be run out by that process.
Out of 100 ninth graders, one will end up with a college degree. So really poor attainment. And we used a collective impact model of what strategy to use. So we've been working with 36 people, and they came together, plus dozens of community outreach meetings, to build a plan around how to attack that attainment gap. So the core of it was 35 diverse members of the community from all sectors. It was very, very heavily data-driven, which was one of the keys to the progress we've made, because it just completely changes the discussion when you're using really good data and also having systems that you can track it. So
we have to be able to define what the community or who the community is. What are the values of that community and what affects the values of that community. And so typically what happens are the better programs, whether it be through any of these, through education, housing, etc., really take the time to find out. And then you have heavily involved people and organizations that have one collective goal in trying to do something.